Hi, I'm Carl with Apt, and these are the Sony MDR-1000X noise-canceling headphones. Now, for a long time, there's really only been one brand, as you may know, that's had a hold on the market for noise-canceling headphones, but Sony decided it was time to make a big push and really get their name into the conversation as well, and I think they did a really great job. Today we're going to talk about the looks, features, and most importantly, the sound on these headphones. Now, Sony was nice enough to provide us a pair of them to check out before they launched, so we got a good opportunity to really listen and compare them to some of the other noise-canceling headphones on the market, and I was really impressed. Right off the bat, they come with a really nice kind of semi-rigid carrying case with a little strap with a snap on it, and there's also a little pocket on the back here. Now, I'm not exactly sure what you use the pocket for. I suppose you could put like an ID or something in there, but it's there if you need it just in case. Now, moving on, as we open the case, you're going to see the headphones themselves, which we have the black pair here. I think they look really good. They also come in like a champagne type finish, they call it, but it really kind of seems like more like a silver finish. I haven't seen them in person yet, but I can already tell you this is the color that I would be getting for myself. Now, as you take a look on the inside of the case, they provide you this little diagram here to show you how to put the headphones back in. That does take some getting used to, but also the diagram shows you how to use the touch controls. I think it's a nice touch. Get it? Touch by Sony to help people learn how to use the product. Now, let's talk about the actual look of the headphones. They have a really high-end look. You can tell they're nice even before you pick them up to put them on. The ear cups and the headband all have this synthetic leather. It's on the inside, it's on the outside, underneath here. So they look really nice. They have this nice soft cushioning in them, so they're really comfortable to wear even if you have them on for longer periods of time. Now, they also have a dark brushed metallic headband here on the top that blends in nicely with the rest of the materials too, and Sony went light on the branding, which I prefer. On the bottom left ear cup is where you're going to find the only physical buttons, as well as a 3.5mm headphone jack for hardwiring them to a source. On the right ear cup, you're going to have a micro USB plug for charging, and that's also where the touch controls are located. Now, these weigh in at about 9.7 ounces, including the built-in battery, but without the cord, which isn't too bad either. They're not the lightest pair of headphones out there, but I wouldn't call them heavy by any means. All the materials and the shape of the ear cups combine to make a nice, comfortable pair of headphones. Now, that really, as with a lot of things that have to do with comfort, is subjective, but if you want to see how they feel in person, you can come into the store and try them on yourself. I think you'll be happy. Now, moving on from the looks, I want to tell you about the features that come built into these headphones, and that's really what's going to set them apart from the other noise-canceling headphones on the market. Like I mentioned before, these have touch controls on the side, so they're on the side of the right ear cup, and they're super easy to use. All you have to do is slide your finger up and down to adjust the volume up and down, back and forth to fast forward or rewind, and then you can double tap in the middle to play or pause. Now, you can also use the center press to answer and hang up a phone call, or if you long press there and you have it hooked up to a device that has Siri or OK Google, you can use those functions as well. So it's really easy to make a phone call, really easy to search for music, and they worked consistently well. I didn't find myself having to fumble around to try and make those functions work. The middle push was the only touch control that's a little iffy to find. I almost think Sony could have put maybe a little bump or something just to indicate where the center of the ear cup is located. Not that big of a deal. So it's something you'll get used to. Now, one of the other cool features that Sony built into these headphones is what they call their Sense engine. Now, that's going to do a few different things. One way to use it, and I think is this coolest way to use it, is you put your hand over the right ear cup and it'll turn down what you're listening to. It'll keep playing, but it'll just turn it down, and it allows you to hear what's going on around you. So it's really great if you're listening to music and somebody comes over to tell you something, or if you want to talk to somebody, not have to pause your music and take your headphones off and feel like you're shouting at the person. You can talk at a normal volume, and you can tell that you're talking at a normal volume. So that part works really, really well. The other way you can use it is if you're on a phone call. So it'll work when you're on a phone call, but it doesn't mute the conversation that you're having with the caller, so they can hear what you're talking about with the person that you're talking to that might be standing right in front of you. So I didn't particularly like that. I really think during a phone call, it should probably mute the phone call while you have your hand over the ear cup. But that's just a little thing, just something you have to get used to with these particular headphones. Now, another way to engage that Sense engine is the Ambient Sound button. You have this Ambient Sound button right here. That's going to toggle between a couple different options. There's a normal and a voice. Normal is going to turn up the microphones on the outside so you can hear what's going on around you more clearly, which is basically the ambient noises around you. And then the voice operation is so you can hear voices better. So when either of these options is turned on, the noise canceling turns off, but it's basically doing the opposite of what noise canceling is intended to do. So it's going to be a great feature for somebody who's at an airport and needs to hear the overhead announcements while they're listening to music, or a movie, or anything like that, or even somebody who's sitting at their desk who still needs to hear when their phone rings. So it's a really useful feature to have. Another button you're going to find on the side is the button for noise canceling. That's going to be able to allow you to turn noise canceling on and off, which I like, because sometimes you don't need it turned on and it just wastes the battery. The noise canceling on these headphones, by the way, did work very well. I didn't feel like there was a lot of pressure in my ears with it turned on, and it blocked out the ambient noise really sufficiently, which is exactly what noise canceling headphones should do. Now, you can also use the noise canceling button. This is kind of a cool feature that they added too. You can actually use that to calibrate what you're listening to. Sony basically realized that the headphones don't always fit the same way on everybody, so basically you hold down the noise canceling button and it's going to send some sound into your ear and give feedback to the microphones that are built into the headphones and kind of calibrate them to work best with your ear shape and your head shape. And if you have glasses on, it's going to create a little bit of a gap. So it's designed to really give you the best possible quality of equalization in the music that you can. It's kind of like if you buy a really high-end receiver and it's got one of those microphones built in, you can put it in the middle of the room where you're going to be sitting to calibrate the speakers around you. I didn't really notice a difference. I tried moving the headphones around on my head. I didn't really notice a big difference when I did the recalibration as I adjusted the headphones on me, but the sound quality didn't get any worse, so I guess that's kind of a win. That's a tough one to test. Now, the last thing of note here is going to be the battery. It's built in, it's rechargeable, and it's going to last you about 20 hours with the Bluetooth and noise canceling function turned on. If you turn noise canceling off, they'll last you about 22 hours. Now, moving on, let's talk about the other reason that people buy headphones, the sound. These are good, but they're really good if you're listening to a high-res file. Sony's DSEE engine will upscale compressed music files like MP3, A-Track, and WMA files to make them sound better, but the real benefit of listening to these headphones is their ability to play back high-res files. These really sounded nice. I know people always say the same thing in overviews of the sound on headphones, but they really do create a nice sound stage for you. And I found that the mids and highs were really sharp and crisp. I could make those frequencies out really well, but I was expecting a little more from the bass, but that could be said for a lot of nicer headphones as well. They never distorted, even with the volume turned all the way up, and I enjoyed the experience of listening to them with noise canceling turned on and off, and I really found those ambient modes useful as well when I was listening to them at my desk. They worked out great. So really, to sum it all up, I think Sony did a really great job with these headphones. The style was terrific. They were really comfortable for me to wear. They have a bunch of great features built in. As far as noise canceling headphones go, I thought they had great sound, but if you're getting these, I highly recommend downloading some high-res files to get the full enjoyment out of them, because that's where they really shine. They're going to be about $50 more than their closest competitor, the Bose. I honestly think, though, if you're someone who sits at a desk and likes to listen to music while you work, these are completely worth the additional price with those ambient sound features. I sat at my desk. I was able to hear my phone ringing. I didn't miss any work that I was supposed to be doing while I was listening to these. So I really liked them. What do you guys think? Would you consider changing over to these from a competitor's headphone that you might have right now? We'd love to hear back from you in the comments section below. If you want to learn more about these, make sure to click on the link in the description below as well. And as always, we appreciate you watching our videos, and be sure to like and subscribe to see what we've got next.